have to lay off 90% of your staff. Who you will retain?
I would remove everyone who is in charge of replication and keep the people who can create.
I realized that is when the company is growing, like everyone is happy, but when the company is not doing well. So that is where people start to doubt.
So that the 10% who keep to serve the new vision, the new mission.
Who is the talent, the one that we can't live without that person?
Seems that we all agree that 80% of job will be replaced with AI.
That AI gonna be like one thing that our imagination.
Million or billion of people actually are unmotivated. So the business is to motivate them. First of all, thank you everybody for coming. My job actually building the big company actually. Yeah. So, but I feel very related to blockchain and game, especially in Vietnam. And by 2008, when the Apple launched App Store, I think that great opportunity for Vietnamese young people actually. They can be successful much faster and easier than us. And I'm very happy today to see that the company like Ling and Silver and Liu make a headline in international, and very happy to host you here at guest and at host, Gabby. Yeah. Okay, we don't talk about technology. This session will talk about the people. My first question for everywhere, for three of you is, I want you guys to think about what's the most challenging problem you have with your team now?
One of the challenges for me, I think like working with human is not my advantage. I think that I keep learning a lot about how working with human and keep failing expectation of my team, a lot of my partners. I try to learn how to overcome it. One thing that people not usually talk about is about how to fail people and keep going. It's always easy when we reach the milestone, right? When we got a profit, we don't have to motivate people when we make money, right? How to overcome the failure and stand up and do it again. A lot of time we set a high goal, we set ambitious goal, and we couldn't achieve it. The tough time come and how we keep motivated them, keep people believe it even after they fail it. I think it's the most challenging.
Can you be more specific? Do you have any case to share with people here?
The current company is not my first company. I failed like 2-3 company before. Totally failed, like totally lost. Own investment. I'm the one who had to talk to the people to lay them off when I close the company. It's not an easy conversation. In the game industry, the success rate is quite low. Like only 10-20% is high. So what we do with like 80% of a failed product, we have to deal with the negative emotion. Bring in the optimist, motivate them about the uncertainty future.
You said that you're laying off people, but long time ago. What about now?
Now we have to even a lot of failed projects because like we develop like 10 new game every year. So just like one of them is a successful one, I have to deal with a lot of failure.
What's your secret that to deal with the people, with failed people?
There's no secret. No secret. People know what happened when they fail, right? So there's no secret here. I think that's the tough part.
Certainly more your problem than their problem.
I think it's not a secret. It's like the fact that we let people know that we manage expectation. We know what you get when you are success.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, interesting. Gabby?
Well, first of all, I'm very happy that we're talking about the people side of the business, right? There's always a lot of talk about technology, which one is better, why are we using this technology in a new way in the game industry. But at the end of the day, it's the people that make it work, and it's the people that also derive value from it. So for us, I think one of the kind of special cases with what we're doing as a crypto organization is that we're dealing with people on two levels. One is the internal coordination that's required to make a product that you think will serve the market. And the second is that every really special crypto organization is tied very closely to its community. A lot of the value that we derive from YGG is from the community that kind of co-creates that value with us. So how can we create product in a way that community uses it to derive even more value is very hard. So we don't actually have a very big team. We're a little bit over 40 people. And then we have like guild partners from all over the world. But apart from that, it's leveraging the small team that we have to create really good product that can leverage a much larger community is a lot of the work that we're doing.
I understand that you use technology, mitigate your risk. Link said that he's not comfortable working with people. So how about you?
I definitely deal a lot with the people side of the technology business. So I grew up from kind of a technical background, but moved to the, I would say, managerial side of talking with technical people. So that's kind of what I excel in. And yeah, it's actually really hard to build a kind of tech company, the tech product that scales. First of all, as the leader of a company, you have to be able to set that clear vision of where you want to take everyone. But you can't just hire even really good people and product just gets built and success happens. So it's a lot of internal coordination. People have their idea of what the vision means, and sometimes it doesn't align. And then you test that in the market. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So it's actually a lot about being in the weeds, being able to course correct, being able to validate with the market, and sometimes being able to either correct wrong assumptions internally, or sometimes even parting with team members that don't really align with that vision. So those are very hard decisions to make, and especially in tougher markets where we are now, the faster you lean into those hard decisions, the better it is for the entire company.
I want to come back to my initial question. What's the most challenging problem you have now with the team?
I would say it's still internal coordination to make really, really good product. The internal coordination is hard. Especially you hire a bunch of smart people. Everyone thinks they know how it should be done best, and how to mitigate that and make sure that you have something is really good and something that also users want.
Do you think that in order to make better product, you put more people or less people?
Less has been working for us right now because we're more in the, I would say, ideation to initial execution phase. We're not yet in the replication and scaling phase. We've scaled a bit in terms of community. In product, actually, I think we're still kind of proving out what the initial product would be.
Thank you a lot. Maybe problem is to make good product, but how to coordinate 40 people to do it together. Now, how about Cường?
Okay, so talking about people-related problem, challenge that we are facing every day. Yeah, but one of the very prominent one that we faced recently, and I think that it's gonna be quite resonant with a lot of people here, is how to manage people in the downturn of the economy, when your business performance is not that good as it used to be. Because one of the facts I realized that is when the company is growing, everyone is happy, everyone is very tolerant with each other. But the thing is that when the company is not doing well, so that is where people start to doubt about the strategy, about the capability of the leader, and many other things that we can doubt, right? The thing over there is it's actually very tough to have the right story. So for me, one of the very important thing that I learned is to look back and start kind of attribution analysis of what we did well, what we didn't do well, that make us growing down, and also attribute the impact of the overall economy to our business. Because easily, if the industry is going 30% down in terms of revenue, right, and you're going 20%, actually you're doing better, you're growing relatively to the industry. So don't be so sad about that 20% decrease of revenue. Looking back and how the benchmark and analyze the story, and then all your storytelling, so that people don't just guess and judge each other. We are, as a business owner, we have to own the storytelling, then make it into something positive and actionable. Because talking about the history doesn't make any change.
For example, say you have to lay off 90% of your staff. Who you will retain?
If I have to lay off 90% of my staff, so my thought process would be, first of all, looking back at the business. What is the thing that we must do, have to do it ourselves, that we cannot based on freelancer, based on other companies to do it for us, that are the kind of function I will have to keep it at all costs. Next step is to analyze that team, that function, who is the talent, the one that we can't live without that person.
If you ask me, I have to lay off 90% of staff. It means that I'm essentially going back to seed stage. It probably means my current product has failed. I have to ideate towards a new product, find product market fit again. So I would remove everyone who is in charge of replication and keep the people who can create.
I don't have to imagine about that situation. That decision and the imagine for the layoff moment is happen in our head like long time before we make the decision. 3 months, like even years before we make the layoff decision. So we know exactly what we're gonna do next. So that the 10% who keep to serve the new vision, the new mission of the new team, we have to pivot, right? So no business is permanent. We know when at some point we have to pivot. That 10% we keep the valuable for the new picture. It's not like the creator or the leader. Can be anyone from the top to the bottom that who have us to rebuild the new future.
I fully agree with Ling that this question is very important for every leader. It's not about growth. It's not about if we have to start from beginning now. Who you go with you? It's two sides of question. It's one you want to keep them. But in downturn, they don't want to stay because 90%, so I better go away. It's a daily job, leader talking to them, keep them 10%. From my point of view, I only know exactly who at the time, every day. It is very important, and become terminology on the core team. It's very important, like a nuclear of the organization. From them, you can start it out, reboot. The second question is actually second topic. So every says that it's AI becomes smarter, we don't need people anymore. How do you think? So, especially in game industry, do you need people or you need AI?
This is one question that I think about like every day. That AI gonna be like one thing that our imagination, because like one thing from my observation in history that human tend to underrate the exponential formula. We either understand the linear formula, but exponential is something that we cannot understand. Everything like double every cycle. 10 cycle, it can be like massive, bigger than before, and everything we have today can change profoundly. To deal with AI, I have to use a lot of my imagination because all we know may be wrong. I believe that even in security, in blockchains, the appearance of quantum computing can challenge even the blockchain's technology, because blockchain is based on cryptography and quantum, and at some point, if they can resolve that, it changed the whole industry. And the same with AI, it's based on the computing power, and the computing power grow like exponentially, and it can change like everything. It can be like not only smarter, more intelligent than a human. It can be smarter, more intelligent than the whole human being. I don't know what it can be, but to deal with business, I think that we have to learn every day and be prepared.
No, Gabby, how do you think?
Well, first of all, let me preface this by saying I'm by no means an AI expert. However, I do have opinions.
Okay.
So I do think that AI presents one of the largest deflationary sources of productivity that we've seen, meaning that you can do a lot more with a lot less, right? Ever since maybe the internet itself, or 30 years ago in 1996, you couldn't just build an e-commerce website. Netflix came out saying it took them $1 million to build the infrastructure to set up an e-commerce website so that they could start selling DVDs. And today you can set it up in one day, basically get a template, start a website, connect it to Stripe, get payments, right? So there's been a massive deflationary force with technology over time, and this will be even accelerated further than AI. Now I think AI will empower the people who are original creators, and it will disempower people who are executors, people who are maybe doing in-between animation, people who are executing the artwork that the creative director laid out, right? So what are these people going to do, right? And yeah, we'll have to find other people to do. Before you needed hundreds of people to do something that was replaced, for example, by steam engine. Right, so yeah, so it will definitely destroy a lot of jobs. I think in the end, it will empower creators, and you'd probably be able to run a one-person company that can do the entire stack of a product that you thought of yourself.
How about Amanot?
Yeah, actually, personally for me, I also believe in the AI would profoundly change the way we do our business a lot. But there's also a matter of time over there. I think ChatGPT can be considered the first inflection point. Yeah, but there can be a lot more. And I think it's basically a very positive change for business because it can replace human because it's doing better job than human. it's a very positive thing, especially business and business owner. And for workforce, I think it's still a positive thing for them because now they can focus on doing something that really add more values and they are released freed from the things that like daily. For business owner, for me, there are basically 3 questions that we should be answering or thinking about. The first one is about whether that change is for us. Because I think AI in general, it will help, but the thing is that it will not be the holy grail for every business because there's so many AI tools and there's so many ways to solve a problem and you don't need to use AI tool as a default option. And then second one is if it is for us, then build the muscle to adopt because making a change in an organization is not easy. Yeah, so build the muscle. I think we can start small with like doing an MVP and having a tiger team in the company that is willing to try on the new tech, yeah, and then promote and share it to the rest. And I think the third important point is for business that really, when the change in AI is really about the competitive advantage of the company, then that company should consider like leading that change, not waiting to adopt the change. I'm not sure, but I've seen some very impressive demo of AI that actually create games based on the prompts. And I think that would be definitely a threat of game engine company like Unity, for example. So if I'm them, I will have to lead the change. I will not wait. Yeah, but I mean, leading the change should not be the option for everyone because I don't think we are, let's say for Amanos, right? There are a lot of things about music, generative music, AI. But I don't think we are at the position to lead that change. It's not the core of our business model, and we have more important thing to care about for now. And we're too small to care about that.
You are not too small. You are big.
Yeah. Become small is not, I would say it's still quite relative, but more important, it's not our strategy to own the music or to create the music. Yeah, so I mean, don't make leading the AI trend to be a default option for any company.
But you can create the game. You not necessarily create the music, but you can prompt, ask AI to create the game. Because we're talking about the talent in game creation, And the question is, do you think that AI will replace people in some way, to creating the game for us?
80% of people, yes, probably.
I have a vast question about AI sometimes. I believe that the challenge in our near future is that how to motivate talent in the AI era.
Interesting business opportunity that assume that AI will replace 80% of people actually. So we have about million or billion of people actually unmotivated. So the business is to motivate them.
Honestly, what I think, actually I agree with Arif that most of these people will end up playing video games.
Okay, so the future is bright for the game developer.
And that will add to the TAM of the video game market. Yeah.
Okay, let me say this now. Suppose that 80% of the people actually suddenly left, nothing to do. What do you think that we can do for them? Or assume that we are the 20%.
It's happened a lot in human history. Remember, like 1,000 years ago, majority of human, they worked in agriculture. Everyone spent time on the field, on agriculture. And suddenly, like industrial era come in. Just a small proportion of human keep working in agriculture. So the rest, they find the new job to do.
Yeah. So I think a lot of people will be participating in gamified economies. So obviously this is where blockchain will come in later on, but let's set the technology aside. Okay. People need to feel a sense of direction and a sense of progress in a place where maybe a lot of people who aren't the ultimate creators or founders aren't needed because of AI. I think a lot of them will actually be able to find that structure within video games. Games are really structured to give people a sense of progression. Oh, I finished level 1, I get a reward, I get an achievement, I go to level 2. And now you can see, for example, there are applications at Duolingo that are not just video games for entertainment, right? You're actually learning something.
So how do you think?
I think we don't need to worry about what we should do to them because they figure it out naturally. Because let's say before the Industrial Revolution, Like a lot of workers have to do manual work in the factory. Right now with machinery and stuff, right? They don't have to do that work. And I think maybe it could be my life if I was born like 100 years ago. Now I'm making games because I'm free from that work. So I moved to serve a upper human need in the hierarchy of human need, right?
Yeah.
So I think that would be the development. So we're free from doing daily stuff and we will think about other things, and the economy will motivate us to figure it out ourselves and learn ourselves.
Yeah, now you're not talking about philosophy, about history, you're talking about the future and what we can do. Seems that we all agree that 80% of job will be replaced with AI. I think it's an opportunity because the people will find a way to do something new. But what exactly new?
I think I can relate to a very case like I really learned from cartoon industry, like Disney. It's exactly what happened like almost a decade ago. How to make a cartoon? They need like 100 artists to draw every picture. Then they have computer. So what happened with the cartoon industry? They make the better cartoon. They make 2D cartoon. They make 3D cartoon. They make like still cartoon. They just make the better one. And like what just mentioned in the previous panel, that the company doing for the really business, the company doing hyper casual now, they can do casual game. Company doing like AA game can do triple A game. They just the same. They still make game, but they make the better game. So I think that's something really practical.
Very bright future for all of you. Yeah.
But it's also more competitive.
With the assistant with AI, you make the better game. But the question is the market is still the same. Or people, the mindset of people will change. Are you going to play the game, or they demotivated? They want to fighting each other. I don't think that any lesson from history can be applied now because society has been changed. The last question is, for example, if tomorrow you decide to leave the company, who will leave?
I will make a battle royale in the company, so people gonna fight for that position.
So you don't care.
I thought about that, like few option, any option that people that new leader need to prove himself or herself. So take time.
How about you?
So I actually think that I have a very strong co-founder that I think could lead if I were to leave.
First of all, I think when choosing a successor, we don't necessarily try to find someone that like fit up on the thing that we are doing great, right? Because there's can be different way to arrange a team. As they can work with each other and create a stronger team together. So that's why I'm talking. Have several options because there could be multiple ways for us to organize the team. Let's say for me, right, based on my strength and weakness, I want to organize this like this. But I think without me, there can still some other way that can organize the team. Maybe we can break it down into 2 teams, and we have 2 leaders for those small teams.
You look very mature. Right? He's young, but we think a lot about success. And success planning is very, very difficult. It's more challenging for most of the company. Not only startup, even the big company who have this problem. I like the idea that not one, but so gonna layer people, actually group of people that only really replace. If suddenly someone happened with Silva, maybe he married, his wife don't want him to be entrepreneur anymore. Thank you very much.